put software in that like limited the emissions during test conditions.
So why would we care about this?
Well, it's going to cost them like billions of dollars. This is huge.
How does this affect us as a video game podcast? Welcome to episode 63 of the Endless Backlog podcast. I am your host, Gagandeep Singh. You are listening to the number one amateur hour podcast. Hope all is well where you are. Joining me today is Christopher Compton.
What's up, everybody?
Aljosa Cleach.
Oh, what time is it? Hey.
Aljosa basically woke up from a fucking nap to join this podcast. Isn't it a little late for a nap? Like, shouldn't you just, have gone full asleep?
It's never too late for a nap.
It's always too late for a nap. After a certain point, nap turns into sleep.
Nah, I usually go to bed around 1, so...
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And then, the voice of reason that we might need every once in a while, Ben Minkoff.
The first step in making a dream come true
get the fuck
is
off.
to wake up.
Oh, right, your fortune cookie.
You tell them to wait, and then you tell them to fuck
I
off.
thought he was hamming it up because I called him a voice of reason. No, go on. Go on, cookie again.
I read it. That's the fortune.
What was it?
The first step in making a dream come true is to wake up.
I think that's kind of fitting, given that Aljosa woke up. So, Aljosa, what dream are you trying to make true right now?
I didn't have a dream.
You have a dream. What is your dream? What is the Aljosa dream?
I had a dream.
Yeah.
That a man will be judged by the content of his skin, but not by the color of his character.
Congratulations, that dream has come true.
Dream has come true. Well, a little too often.
I quoted it wrong, but it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't know. How was everyone's weekend?
Dog, it's Tuesday. Our weekend's long gone. Yeah, I didn't remember what happened yesterday.
So I'm asking how was everyone's weekend. I was busy on Monday.
We had homecoming over here at Western, so it was basically the right to riot.
The right to riot? Alright.
Yeah.
Did you party?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For some reason, I don't know what's been going on lately with me and my friends, but we start partying at 5:30. Aljosa, you were almost there. You left 10 minutes before we started, because Aljosa and I hung out in real life.
Ooh.
And yeah, 10 minutes. We start at 5:30, and we're like, oh man, we're going hard tonight. And then it's 8:30, and we're starting to realize we started this way too soon. This could be the longest night of our lives.
That sounds awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah, it does. It makes the night feel epic inherently because it's longer.
Yeah. No, there's something.
Wait, that was this last weekend? Yo, where was that? What?
No, the weekend before was when I was with you, and then we did the same thing for homecoming because they basically shut down my street because I live right on Richmond in London, which is where the university is.
Canada.
London, Canada, yeah, not real London. And it gets so wild. On my way to pick up some mixer, there was a girl giving a lap dance to another girl on a computer chair in the middle of the street. This is a busy street.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that goes on in homecoming.
This is a wild Canada. I like this. Anyway. Yeah. So you did nothing this weekend?
I don't remember what happened last weekend. No, I didn't do anything.
This weekend. This
weekend. No, I didn't do anything. I watched soccer and I got depressed because we almost lost again. But
I went out Saturday with a kid I haven't hung out in a while. He was when I had a restaurant gig at Cheesecake Factory. Mm-hmm. He was my drinking buddy. And I make that clarification because a friend is someone you count on, period, right?
Yep.
Friend you can call for anything. This person is a drinking buddy. I specifically call this person because I need to party. And we got really fucking smashed. I was gone. I ended up missing all the 1 o'clock games on Football Sunday.
Whoa.
I slept I woke up for a second. I woke up for a second. I'm just fuck this. I'm going right back to bed. So I didn't wake up until 4 or 5. It was really bad.
Good thing the Giants play on Thursday.
Yeah, it's a good thing they played on Thursday. And I got enough to. I mean, I was able to watch, I guess, the Peyton Manning against the Lions game, but wasn't all that fun.
Yeah, speaking of friends, October's coming up soon, man. When are you gonna come to Canada?
Yes, that's true. I'm on my way to Canada soon. I gotta go get ready for a wedding.
For Halloween or Thanksgiving?
For Halloween. No, neither. I think it's middle of October. Someone's getting married.
It's Thanksgiving.
My family.
Thanksgiving's not in October.
What do you? Thanksgiving's November.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God, Canadian Thanksgiving.
I didn't grow with that first, yeah. Just damn, let that slip like that.
What's wrong with you?
Jesus Christ, fucking October. I like October. Anyway, we're a video game podcast, not Goggins like
allegedly.
Allegedly, sort of are. I don't know.
What the fuck is a video game?
Yeah, what is a video game? What the fuck is wrong with video games?
Hey, you've actually been playing a video game, Al Joseph.
Actually,
in your life.
Yeah, and I beat one too. What day is it?
Bought one in the same week and beat it in the same week.
Holy crap!
What? This is unheard of. Let's put some like
gotta be
qualifiers here. This is actually really special. It's a horror game.
Yep. Right.
It's called Soma. It's made by the people who made Penumbra and Amnesia: The Dark Descent. If you follow this podcast, you know that I like horror games, and I really like Amnesia: The Dark Descent. And I didn't buy it yet, so what a weird world we live in. And Aljosa bought it while playing Amnesia for literally 5 minutes at most, thinking it's shit and stopping.
Yo, I couldn't get over the fact that the character's like 3 feet tall, yo. That's my walking, but with no legs and stuff. You want a character who's like so small.
I still play games where they don't have legs, though.
Doesn't matter, yo. I just can't handle it.
It's so stupid. Amnesia's so good. Anyway, so Aljosa, you are not the type who usually enjoys video game stories. It's usually pretty rare that you ended up liking the video game story part, right? For the most part. Yeah. Okay. So while we're also on this, I can't think of one of these walking artsy games you actually care for.
Yeah, that's why I was like that's why I had to like reevaluate myself in life, like where I'm going as a human being, that I like enjoy this game like literally, and I beat it in like what? Yeah. 4, 5 days, something like that?
Yeah, so break down Soma. What is Soma at the end of the day? Like, what is the game? Like, what's the setup? What's the premise?
Right, Soma is essentially one of those walking simulators, but with more like horror elements and way more like interactive story. So like, just imagine Gone Home combined with like Amnesia, but not as interactive heavy as Amnesia. But I've been reading, and apparently like Soma is more gameplay wise compared to like A Machine for Pigs, that game.
Right.
Okay.
And like there's no like inventory you have, like you carry one item at like the entire time, and it's just very like light on like traditional gameplay, what you expect from like a first person kind of survival horror type thing.
Yeah, mechanically speaking, it's supposed to be a watered
down mechanically version. It's pretty bare bones, but yeah, the story in the world and the atmosphere like completely make that game.
Right. So a lot of that game is just walking, or
yeah, there's.
I mean, there are enemies, right?
Exploring. Yeah, there's. I think, off the top of my head, I fought. Well, I didn't fight, but there were like 6 or 7 enemy encounters. Like you'd be up against like one enemy trying to like hide from him, or try to just like navigate around while he's chasing you, or while he's like trying to find you by sound and stuff.
Right.
Then there's other enemies like.
So you play the mouse in this situation. It's more. It's more like a sneaking game in the sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very like claustrophobic too, because like in these sections, like it would just be like crisscrossing hallways and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like if you get chased and you're on a dead end, then you're gonna die. Mm-hmm. But it's cool. Like if you die once, well, like die with like quotes on, like you still live. Mm-hmm. So I kind of have to explain this, but you have to like essentially get caught twice before you get a game over screen.
Yeah, the first time you just get hurt.
Yeah, you just get hurt, and then like the monster leaves the area or whatever. And then if you get caught again, and then you like go back to checkpoint. So
I don't know how I particularly feel about that, but I can't speak to it without like playing the game.
I mean, there's a narrative reason and stuff why that happens. So
don't spoil it.
Yeah, you have to play the game to like understand why it is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think the idea is that like in practice, when you're in a horror game, like a game over like takes you out of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's like how to keep you like playing the game so that you like keep that sense of dread.
There is one specific point in the game where like I got so annoyed because I kept dying.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're in what's essentially a chase sequence, and if you like pick the wrong way, you get to a dead end, and the dude just like teleports and just like kills you. And because in that one it's instant death. That you don't have two chances because it's like a high paced underwater chase, right? Well, other than that, I wasn't frustrated at all with the game. I was legit scared at one point because like you're just walking out, then you see the monster right in front of you, like all the hairs on my arms and legs stood up, yo. Never happened to me ever in a game. I was legit scared to play it after that. Cause that same monster would be like around the corner like every time, yo.
So like you've played what other games have you played that you would like describe as like a walking simulator? Besides like Amnesia,
none.
I guess.
He's never played Amnesia.
I can't even. I played Amnesia for like 10 minutes, but
he hasn't played Amnesia.
I have 0.4 hours on Steam, so.
So he hasn't played Amnesia, exactly.
Less than half an hour, yeah. Like
So,
I can't.
Just that.
Just that. I can't think of any other games that I played that like have the certain like
Yeah,
format.
but you dug this story, right?
Yeah, I love the story because like it's
So-
really light on cutscenes, so you have to just like explore and find everything yourself.
Right.
It's kind of like Dark Souls
Mhm.
combined with like Deus Ex Human Revolution. You have to like go through computers and like investigate books and data files and stuff to get like the story or what happened. Even since I got like the general gist of it, what happened, there's still some stuff that's missing, some stuff that I still don't know about. So like the mystery of it is like enticing, and I enjoyed that. And it's just a really really cool setting, like the twists and turns, especially the ending. The ending to the game was really really fantastically well done.
Yeah. Without spoiling it, how would you describe like what's really cool about the story? Besides like just the way it's told, like what like the plot? Like what like is it a specific genre thing? Is it like Silent Hill's brand of psychological horror or
There's that too, yeah. There's psychological like the more you play, the more further you get into the game. Cause you're essentially like going further down like the ocean and then around to like the different stations. The game gets crazier and crazier. Like it's literally like Descent into Hell. Like you're on the ocean floor, right?
Yeah,
you're
I'm
right.
pretty sure that's like the intent there. It usually is with that type of stuff.
Like Silent Hill 2 has that.
Silent Hill 2 has that. Spec Ops: The
Which is
Line
really
does something similar to that.
And then like with the story, I was amazed because like the story like explains stuff to you about like the game and the world's logic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff would still happen that would still surprise me, even though I was like described like what would happen. It's it's hard to describe.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game still like surprises you and gives you clues and straight up just tells you like how the game world is and what the logic to the world is, but you still get surprised by all these twists and turns, even though they're not really twists because
It's not like it's lying. It's not like it's lying to you. It's
no. It's just like you just forget that the game is so like the choice and stuff in it. They're really really interesting because like you never like paint it as like a There's two choices in the game.
Fuck.
But no matter like what choices you pick, everything is the same, right? You don't feel like you're not a jerk or a good guy. It's no like take the red pill versus the blue pill type thing. It's just you have a choice, you do it, or you're not. The game world and the world just keeps going as normal.
I like that.
It's really like hard to like describe without playing it, like knowing what I mean exactly, but it's really well done. The story, the voice acting, I was really 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 like impressed by everything in that game.
And here Chris is gonna play Alien Isolation instead of Soma this month.
And with Soma and Alien, funny you mentioned that game. Alien is like what 20 hours long almost.
20 hours and 10 hours is too long.
Soma is can't remember how much it was, 5, 6, 7 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
And there was no like downtime or not downtime. There was like no pacing issues.
Wow.
Like sometimes you have like a lame segment, sometimes you have a bad segment, or whatever.
Yeah, but that
Soma, everything was like just straight up from point A to B, C, D, and so on with just fantastic pacing. There was no like.
I actually heard it was a longer game than that.
It's longer than that, from what I've read too. But the way I would, but here's the thing: like, I think Alien Isolation fell into its trap of being 20 hours because they were making a $60 game. Like, Frictional Games here has had the benefit of they make $20 to $30 games. You know, maybe that's.
I think it's at 30 on Steam.
Yeah, it's 30 on. Well, I'm saying their other games were like 20.
Yeah.
So that's that they're allowed to sort of get away with that sort of type of hour count. I think Alien should be half as long as it is. I think the first 10 hours of that game are really good, but then like that final half is like pretty much bad. Whatever. Yeah, I'm excited to play Soma, man. Like,
yeah, I thought it was a fantastic game. It's probably gonna be up there for my game of the year.
I'm ecstatic that you like it because I was already expecting. I was like, all right, so Phil's not gonna play this because he gets scared easily. William's not gonna play it because it doesn't have the fucking word alien on it, so that's not gonna happen. Chris isn't gonna play it because Chris has his monster backlog. I've never seen Ben play a horror game in my life.
I played Silent Hill 2.
Like a decade ago. Anyway.
Like
I was drawn to it because of the sci-fi theme to it.
Yeah. What?
That's really the reason why I played, because of the sci-fi.
Yeah. I would like to play this game.
Probably why I didn't care for Amnesia, because it was like kind of a fantasy type setting.
It was Lovecraftian and it was great.
Yeah, I don't really care for that.
Oh my god, you guys are monsters.
But
I'm not
fantastic.
Yeah. I'm not really a horror game guy generally, but I might try and rope a friend playing this with.
You should make exceptions for frictional games.
I don't like being scared that much.
Their games are so cool, though. They tell narratives through the gameplay. Like, whatever, Amnesia's plot isn't really a thing, but I felt like its dialed-back story helps that game, whereas when they added so much story to A Machine for Pigs, I was like, fuck this game. I don't like Machine for Pigs. In fact, if anything, the one turnoff I've had with Soma so far, in terms of like what I've read, is that a lot of the mechanics are a watered down version of.
Yeah.
So, and
Do you get it? Do you get it though? Do you get it? That it's
I
just got it. Yeah. And there's less combat counters in general, so it's not like you will be fighting enemies every single time. Each enemy has its own like special area, and they're all unique. So even if they're watered down, it never feels like it's lacking somewhat.
Wait, there's a new game by the Stanley Parable guys?
What?
Yeah.
What is it?
One sec. Let me look up the thread.
Okay,
I was saw it on NeoGaf.
He's making a new game, or it's out?
Yeah. It's coming out next week or something.
Oh shit! Yeah, what the fuck? I don't know. Soma I'm excited to play though. Like I just wanted to get a few games off my backlog out of the way. Dying Light being one of them. I want to get through the Shadowrun games. But I planned on getting Soma and then like bouncing between it and The Witcher 3 because that's Chris's game of the year. So we have to play it now because we all need to be able to argue against Chris, I guess.
You need to be able to take me down.
Yeah, because Chris apparently has all the ammunition he needs against Metal Gear Solid 5 because you beat it today, buddy.
Kojima gave it to me on a silver platter.
On a silver? He really did, though. He really did.
What a stupid fucking ending. Like, the more I think about it, it is so dumb. Holy shit.
What you mean great ending?
Oh, now I kind of wish we waited a week to do the spoiler cast because I wanted to hear your... Because we can't talk about it now.
No.
It's too late. We're not going to be talking about it on podcast with you, really.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And then, like, as soon as this call ends, you're just going to leave, so any curiosity Ben has is going to be gone.
No, I'll stick around to talk with you.
All right.
Okay, good, good.
That's good.
I don't know. What did you think of the overall game? Like, me and Ben have talked about so much of that game. Yeah.
Overall game is excellent.
This is your floor to talk about Metal Gear Solid 5. Go.
Yeah, no, overall game is absolutely excellent. The amount of gameplay packed in is amazing. The free, like, we talk about words that get thrown around a lot in video game journalism. Emergent is one of them, but I absolutely think it applies to this one in that on the fly, a situation can arise and you have numerous tools at your disposal to turn that situation into whatever crazy thing you can possibly think of. Once you kind of drop the idea that, oh, I need to be pure stealth, this needs to be an all stealth mission. I mean, the world is your oyster. You can do anything you want, and it's amazing. And each mission is structured in such a way that outside of the side ops, the main missions themselves are just so carefully constructed, but at the same time doesn't box you in to lead to these kind of. Whereas a lot of people complain about there's a lack of kind of big story moments, you can kind of create those big moments in each mission by yourself.
Yeah.
And I always thought it's always more impactful. A lot of people said the best part of the game is that first mission when, you couldn't do anything and it was heavily scripted.
Those people are crazy.
Yeah.
Psychopaths.
Yeah, most
Do
ridiculous.
you like that opening?
I think I like it in the context that it doesn't happen again for the rest of the game. Like if that was how Metal Gear Solid 5 was.
I mean, taking by itself, like as an opening sequence, as a stage setter, do you think it works?
Yes, I think it works.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it sets up the villains, it sets up kind of the plight. The only thing I don't think it sets up, honestly, is again, there's not enough gameplay, so I feel like if that was meant to be the tutorial, fail.
Yeah, well, it's not, because
Yeah,
the very next area is more, it teaches you like all the game at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
But because one of my big problems is I always feel like Metal Gear Solid is just constantly introducing new villains and new story stuff late into the game, whereas I felt like within that first, especially if you've already played Ground Zeroes, within that first chapter you kind of understand all the main characters.
Yeah.
No one else really shows
you
up.
You see the X-Men pretty early.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like wait until the fourth chapter and then all of the screaming mantises or all of them are going to show up.
It's one of those things that
the beauties.
Yeah, it's one of those things God of War 3, for instance, does really well in the sense that in that very opening thing, you see the Greek gods you're going to fight. You're going to see Zeus, You're going to see Hercules, you're going to see Hades and Poseidon and shit. And It's a good setup.
I mean, it comes up to bigger problems in that you don't see enough of some of those people later on.
Yeah.
But for that moment, yeah, I felt
there's not enough bosses, man. The game has 2 bosses effectively.
Yeah, very shocking. Yeah,
and a Metal Gear.
Well, technically,
shut the fuck up, Phil and Ben.
God. Oh no! Get what he just did. Think about what he just did.
Technically.
No.
In
okay.
a nerd voice.
I'll type it to you. Just keep talking.
Okay, I was gonna say Phil and Ben have been going on and on about how the skulls count as bosses. I'm like, they don't count as bosses. Those are not boss fights. Those are not.
Also, they're not good boss fights. That's the bigger thing.
Oh, fuck me! Oh!
See? He was...
Oh my god! Ben!
High five!
This is pretty funny. Wait, now you told Ben too?
He knows what
I know what I did.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Oh my god. Asshole.
But, yeah, no, great, very great game. Just, whereas, like... The story was always kind of... I wouldn't say the weakest parts of the other Metal Gear Solids, because the gameplay was still very good. I think the story actively undermines the game this time.
Yeah. Well, because the story used... Okay, whatever. It was never this great, elegant story thing, but it gave it personality. It always gave it, like, a sense of, like, place.
Yes.
Like, it was just the right brand of stupid, at least in the case of the first 3 games.
Right.
Whereas I think 4 goes too far stupid.
Yes.
5...
Here's my problem with 5, is that it's so subtle for most of the game, in that it pulls back on the storytelling, that when these huge, ridiculous story twists come out, you're like, what fucking game am I playing here? Like, you forget that it's a Metal Gear game until it reminds you that it's a Metal Gear game.
I mean, like, here's how I felt about the story in the context of the entire game. It's just that, like, in like 1 through 3, like, the story is very tightly integrated with the game.
Yes.
It's just in the sense that, like, they are, like, you're constantly kind of trading off, like, one and the other. Every, like, gameplay sequence is very tied to the cutscenes that come with it. And that 4, for me, went way overboard in terms of how much story they were throwing at you. Yeah. And so, like, even the times where the story kind of succeeded in 4... like it was so overwhelmed with other crap that it really took it up. That like in that game, I felt like the story detracted for me in the latter half of MGS4.
Right.
And like 5, I think the story, like on its own, like the plot is a lot weaker. that is probably the weakest of any of the MGS games, at least that I've played.
You would put it below 4.
I would put it, like, in terms of like what happens and the characters and stuff, I would put it below 4 even.
Okay.
But it's out of the way enough that it didn't bother me as much.
Right.
Like, it just let me play the game most of the time, and then, like, there are, like, a few moments where I'm just like, oh, come on!
Yeah, but I guess my thing keeps coming back to
it's not that often, so
is that,
I don't mind.
Whatever, like, my investment was sort of destroyed with Metal Gear, but if I still gave a shit the way I did when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 4, this would sting so much with the way the story goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Phil, I think, has the right idea with it being a bonus. Me and you, I think, have the perfect idea, Ben, where we don't give a fuck.
Yep.
Or I'm more like, I don't give a fuck. You gave a fuck. You gave enough of a fuck.
I gave enough. I gave a little bit.
Yeah. But I just still come back to, like, they could have done something more interesting. And the other thing is, at least the logic of Metal Gear Solid 4 sort of works in the sense that, like, alright, at least it was always building to this in Metal Gear 4, right? Because even, like, the stupid thing that happens after the credits, it's like, well, technically, I guess they did build up to this. Like, they specifically made the wrong eye patch on the corpse. You know what I mean?
Well, it's closing what they started in a way.
Whereas, like,
and, like, I don't know, like, how they did it,
the big ending of Metal Gear Solid 5 is like, what was the rest of the game? What did the rest of the game have to do with this plot?
Like, that is just poorly executed. Like, a really on a fundamental level. But it's just that one thing, and so there's, like, another 70 hours of game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is damn fun to play.
I still think,
and so, like, even though I have nothing left to do, really, I still, like, I was playing the game more this week, and even though I've, like, beat it, like, completely, and I've done enough of the side ops, it's just like I want to have a reason to keep doing the things I like in that game.
Yeah.
So, like, I try to get strength submissions and stuff like that. It's just do it, you know.
It's great on replays. That game's strengths are on its replays.
Yeah, no, it's so much fun to revisit missions once you have all these ridiculous upgrades.
Yeah, I blew up the radar next to one, like, the objective for, like, mission 5, I think.
Yeah.
And so then I just, like, played it where I just, like, kitted out my helicopter, flew it in, shot everything I needed to blow up from the minigun, and then just left. I never even left the helicopter.
That's
I did mission in 1 minute and 43 seconds.
That's something you got an S rank?
S rank, yeah.
A lot of the missions are based on time.
Yeah.
0 kills.
But yeah, you could do it 2 different ways. You could do it super fast, or wow, you got 0 kills for that.
I got 0 kills because I just hit the targets with the minigun. I didn't even hit people.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Or when you get the ultimate bandana.
Yeah.
That's why I do use for side ops.
Yeah,
you can't use it for main missions.
No, yeah, but infinite bandana and stealth camo.
Right.
You just get that shit done in like 2 seconds.
Oh man, I've been going through side ops so quick. I just go in with the Mr. Launcher and blow shit up. It's pretty good. I full-timed Kojima through a warp hole.
Did you?
Yeah, by just going in active camo. With the camo thing on, ran right by the guards. They were like, "Oh, what's that?" And walked into the room, and put him through a wormhole. And then I was like, "All right, return to ACC. We're good here." It was pretty good. I love that game. It's so stupid.
I love how he's in that too. Like, it wasn't enough that he was in Ground Zeroes.
It wasn't enough we saw his fucking name a billion times.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. Metal Gear Solid 5 is so really fucking great, but
someone's gonna be mad that you spoiled that side up.
No, fuck you. I am saving you because Kojima's
that's in chapter 2, so
yeah.
You technically stop before that.
Yeah, you should technically stop before that. I don't know. Where are we? Rocket League though.
Games.
What about Rocket League?
We went back to Rocket League.
The unshakable Rocket League.
Rocket League might be the real game of the year, Chris.
Going back to it.
You might need to really start thinking about this.
No, I would actually have less of a problem with Rocket League winning than Metal Gear Solid 5 winning.
Wow.
But
that's what me and Ben have been coming back at. I was like, yeah, we're playing the secret game of the year. And Ben's like, honestly, I don't know if I really do like Metal Gear Solid 5 more than this. I'm like,
Is there a game that's more fun than this?
Yeah.
No.
That we've played?
Like, now that we've had a whole sort of, like, few months to get into it, I've come to the conclusion that if that game was going to do 4v4, it should have had bigger fields for that mode, at least. Because I think the fields being sort of universal for all the modes is hurting the game for 4v4. Because that's way too many cars on the field to play on those short. Because it would stop being so chaotic if the field was a little bit bigger and you needed to coordinate with people.
I haven't played a lot of 4v4, so I don't.
I played a bit when we had Ilmatic, Laffy, and actually you played with us. It was me, you, Ilmatic, and Laffy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you saw what I mean? Like there was no coordination going on there. We were still talking to each other the whole time, but
it's a lot of people.
2v2,
it's called chaos for a reason.
Yeah, 2v2. Yeah, but they could have done a proper 4v4 though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like those fields just be bigger. Boom, 4v4 is fine.
I think the next DLC they're introducing some new arenas, so maybe.
Yeah, whatever. Well, DLC is paid for, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, so there you go. I still really, really love that game. 2v2, maybe even 3v3. That game is fantastic.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's just such a simple concept that they ran with. You know.
That last game we played was super duper satisfying.
Yeah. We had a decent comeback. We blew a fucking 3-zip lead one game.
Yeah.
That was annoying.
We blew it, and then we got to overtime, and then we
blew it
choked
again?
after like 2 minutes in overtime.
It's actually just, oh my god.
But then we had a really great 1-0 win that I felt really good about.
Yeah, okay. They redid the oh, the one with the 8 saves?
The one with the 8 saves in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, so let me contextualize this a bit. So they redid the ranking system again, because now we're in proper season, right? Mm-hmm. So me and Ben are back to doing 2v2 against ranked people, and unfortunately, because we did so well that first like preseason of ranked, we're actually getting matched up against really good players. Like that game suddenly started weeding out all the people that are bad at the game.
And we got rusty after playing.
Yeah, we got rusty for all that Metal Gear.
That's what it's really about.
Yeah, that's our excuse, and we're sticking to it. And we went back and forth on a bunch of games. The last game we played was like the defensive struggle of all defensive struggles. We only won 1-zip. And in this game, like the part where I know we won is this one part where the other guy is trying to ram that ball into our goal, but somehow Ben came in between that guy's shot. So he kept hitting it right directly into Ben.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of momentum, and like I didn't have a lot of momentum. So we were just kind of like both running into the ball over and over.
Yeah.
And since he was pushing it towards the goal, it kept counting as a shot.
Yeah.
And I kept getting saves.
Yeah.
And so like for about like 30 seconds afterwards, just like after we cleared the ball out.
Yeah, after I finally cleared the ball out of the area.
And it just kept being like, save.
Yeah.
Save.
Like, Ben just kept getting like 8 saves in one spot, and I'm just like, get the fuck out.
Savior.
I'm pretty sure I scored the one and only goal that match. Ben got MVP for his 8 saves. So, God, I had the assist
there too, but
God, I love that game.
It was good teamwork, that one goal.
Aljosa still will not play that game, even though it's the best representation of football ever.
It's because he's still
football. So you about your name?
I know. I don't know how much more in favor. What the fuck? What do I have to do to sell Rocket League to you, Aljosa?
It's a multiplayer only game, man. I couldn't be arsed.
You play a multiplayer only game.
You play Dota 2.
I haven't played Dota 2 in over a month.
After like 2,000 hours.
Yeah, well, enough's enough.
Oh my god, this fucking guy.
You should play Dota 2 sometime.
You should.
I don't know. I'll play one of these days with you guys. Why not? I have it on both systems.
Chris should pony up for the PC version, because he should. Come on, you know that game is worth its price of admission.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, in theory, yeah.
What do you mean in theory? The game is fantastic. It is legitimately a Game of the Year contender this year. In a year where Witcher 3's combat blows and Metal Gear Solid 5 doesn't have an ending, Rocket League is totally a contender.
I ain't gonna deny Rocket League's in the arena.
And this has been a good year.
Yeah,
this has been a good year for games.
Bloodborne's in the arena too.
Yeah, I think of the 4 though, I think Bloodborne would be 4th though.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bloodborne. Yeah.
You mean like 4th of all time?
Fuck you. That was a good segue, though.
About that game.
If you're wondering, Ben is talking about the Edge special list, the 100 greatest video games of all time.
Since you insisted we talk about it on this podcast.
I did insist we talk about it on this podcast. What they said was, in compiling the list, we worked to simple criteria. All formats, console, PC, portable, coin-op, touchscreen, were eligible. We could include only a single entry from any series that features straight-up sequels, and each game had to stand up today rather than making the cut for reasons of nostalgia or historical significance.
I think that's kind of the key to understanding at least what they were going for.
Sure. Okay. Now, I am of the opinion that if you ever make a list longer than 10, you've already fucked up. At a certain point, that list stops making any logical sense. Because it's just such a big number. It gets so messy. Like 10, hold yourself to one game per series, you're good. You got... Even in movies, I think that works perfectly fine. Hold yourself to one movie per series, you're good. You know what I'm saying? Because at 10, at least what it should do as a list is like it sort of tells you that person's taste in a different context, I mean. In the sense that you get because you'll sense this common like through line between like say the 10 movies. Like you see 5 mobster flicks, eventually you get, alright, this guy likes crime dramas. You know what I'm saying? You see freaking like 40-year-old virgin and Wedding Crashers and like American Pie on someone's top 10. Besides the fact that you know he likes comedy movies, you know he likes the raunchy kind of comedy movies and not necessarily Blazing Saddles or fucking Dr. Strangelove.
I mean, you gotta make some tough decisions when you're like cutting it down to a small number.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna focus on just the first 10 before we get into why the rest of the list is complete and utter rank. Alright. Because I actually look at this top 10 and I go, honestly, if that's someone's personal top 10, it's not that bad. I've seen worse. Yeah.
That's a weird top 10.
Alright, number 10, Minecraft. I don't... whatever, I'm not a Minecraft person, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Number 9, Resident Evil 4. I don't know if the Endless Backlog podcast likes Resident Evil 4. I'm not sure. You know.
Number 9.
It's been up in the air.
Yeah, it's been questionable on whether or not we enjoy that game. Number 8...
Is it really better than Minecraft?
Is it really? Agreed. Then there's number 8, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Games that hold up today.
Hey, you get no disagreement out of me that Ocarina of Time does not hold up all that well today. Number 7, Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Highest platformer on the list.
Fuck you. Number 6 is Tetris. Tetris might as well be fucking perfect as far as I'm concerned. So, I'm not disagreeing against Tetris. Number 5 is Half-Life 2. No. Number 4...
Holds up today!
Number 4 is Bloodborne. A game from this year, by the way. And
that's what's going to signal what's wrong with this list.
Yeah, so, for the record, Edge is not allowed to give anything Game of the Year that came out before this list other than Bloodborne.
So really the only game that can top it is Fallout 4. And that would mean it's in the top 3 games of all time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Fallout 4 would have to be one of the 3 or 4 greatest video games of all time. Number 3 is The Last of Us. Chris, I'm not going to go on a limb, and I think you enjoyed that game, didn't you?
Just a little bit. Might have compared it to number 9.
Number 9. Number 2 was Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 1 was Dark Souls.
So if you notice the problem with this list, a lot of these games are from the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a misleading title, yeah.
Yeah, the entire top... I guess all of the top 4 are from, like, the last... Because Dark Souls is, like, 4 years old now?
Yeah. Dark Souls is from 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So the oldest this goes is 2011 in the top 4. Like, we have to go to the top 5 for the oldest game to be 2004. And 2004 is not that long, so...
It's over 10 years ago.
Like, some of this weird... Like, when they were saying nostalgia things, we're like, alright, I guess that makes some sense if you're talking about N64 and PS1 games. Which,
like,
I don't know how Ocarina of Time made top 10, but whatever. However, the games that were on the Genesis and Super Nintendo that are supposed to be like these classics, are still to this day classics, like full-on, non-stop classics.
There's some of them on this list further up.
Yeah, Super Metroid is not high enough.
Number 21.
21st? There are not 20 games better than Super Metroid.
Allegedly.
Super Mario World, number
is
15.
not a better game than Super... Okay, that one doesn't bother me as much.
There's just so many weird choices
Link
once
to
you
the
get past the 10.
Number 31.
I know that Metal Gear Solid 5 is not a better game than Super Metroid. I can confirm.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is 16.
That's just a weird thing to do as a maker of this.
That game came out this month.
Our own rule when we were doing Best of Gen 7 was 2013 games or 2014 games did not
count. Yeah, because how do you even know if you have those same feelings?
Yeah, because we were going to have to do Game of the Year as well. So it was like, no.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, I mean, whatever. We played it fast and loose with the rules as well. We put Persona 4 in a Gen 7 list, right? We were renegades in that.
That game came out deep enough into Gen 7 that it made sense.
Now, you say whatever you want, Chris. Just know that you guys basically...
The rules are arbitrary.
Yeah, the rules are arbitrary. I don't know. Like,
Okay.
I always... Like, my thing with lists has been is, like, we should get to a point where we're... Like, this podcast specifically should be cool with whatever bad list anyone puts out there, because now we know how annoying it is to put a list together. Because, like, we discussed them, and then we realized, oh, yeah, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance and its end.
Batman Arkham Knight on this list, but not City or Asylum.
Well, you can only have one game from a series. That was their rule.
But why would you pick that one?
I mean, after playing Arkham Knight, I would actually agree. How do you pick Asylum over City?
And that doesn't even make sense, because Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past.
That actually is a...
Yeah, what's their defense
A single
there?
entry from any series that features straight-up sequels.
They're basically saying if the sequel is a number, it's a sequel. But
Oh,
if it's not
what
a
the
number.
fuck?
They're basically treating Zelda as an anthology, like it's Final Fantasy.
Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Dude, here you go. Here's the biggest problem. Here's the biggest problem. I'll just listen to this. Listen to this.
Yep.
How good is Chrono Trigger?
It's one of the best.
Super Mario Maker's on the list.
How good is Chrono Trigger as a JRPG? Where would you think Chrono Trigger should rank as one of the best JRPGs?
Definitely in the top 5.
Okay. Did not make a list of the 100 greatest games of all time.
Hey, Goggin,
Damn.
what do you think of Stalker?
Shadow of Chernobyl, it's fantastic.
Not on the list.
In theory.
I don't see it here.
I'm not shocked that Stalker didn't make the list. That's like
Drive Club
Like,
made
let me
the
explain this. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne's a cool game. That doesn't make the list. I'm not surprised because it is sort of a little under the radar. Chrono Trigger, are you serious?
Final Fantasy 12 made it, but it's way too high. 94? Yeah, what the... or way too low. What the hell?
Drive Club beat out
Forza and Gran Turismo.
Let's think of that.
Any Gran Turismo, any Forza did not make this list, but Drive Club did.
Well, I'm glad that Outrun 2 is, like, the highest racing game on this list.
And let's not all forget that Destiny is 32.
Outrun 2 is a really good game.
There's gotta
Actually,
be, like...
Mario Kart 8 is higher than it.
Destiny is higher than Metroid Prime.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is lower than that. Metal Gear Solid 3.
XCOM.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 3 is not on this list.
Metal Gear Solid 3 is on this list.
No, it isn't.
It totally is.
Because that makes us Metal Gear Solid 5 wouldn't be able on this list then.
Oh, right, that makes sense. Okay, never mind.
Metal Gear Solid 3 was topped by Metal Gear Solid 5.
That's ridiculous.
Which I guess it's a better game.
I mean, like, I don't want to get too much into just, like, complaining about numbers on a list.
Yeah.
Because making lists is hard.
We
People
do
gonna
know
put
that
games
makes
and then
lists
forget
hard.
games.
Yeah.
I just feel like the biggest problem with this list is just it's too heavily focused on like the past 2 years.
Yeah, and this is coming from like a lot of people who in this podcast do tend to play more modern games these days than like.
There's some really good. There are a lot of really good games from the last 2 years. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not used to seeing a list like this.
I don't mind Dark Souls 1 being called the greatest game of all time. It's a great game. It's legitimately fantastic. In fact, a lot of their top 10, like I said, I don't think their top 10 is bad. The only one in their top 10 that I think absolutely does not belong in any conversation that isn't like
Wrong.
Impact
Oh.
are Ocarina of Time, because if you take the impact part out of the equation, it's not that good of a game. Get the fuck out. And Half-Life 2. And Grand Theft Auto 5, I don't think that ranks. I don't think that ranks at all. Number 2, no less. But
Number 2. Yeah. Better than Last of Us. Which wasn't even the best game of that year.
Last of Us was the best game of that year.
Yeah, Last of Us was the best game of that year.
Yeah. Yeah, so if someone says Last of Us is their favorite game of all time,
I respect.
It's not my favorite game of all time. It's not even in my top 10 of that gen, but I think it's a fantastic game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, Portal's great. If someone said Portal's their favorite game ever, I'm like, yeah, no, that's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my thing. My thing. Anyway, moving on. Tony Hawk is broken.
That makes me sad.
What a shock.
So,
I mean, I knew it was gonna happen.
I know, but in your heart of hearts, you wanted Tony Hawk to make a comeback.
It was, pretty easy to see coming, but I really like Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Did you see the point?
Tony Hawk's not on this list, is it?
No!
Another ridiculous...
Oh, man!
Omission.
I mean, I don't know how it would hold up today, but...
Don't get the fuck out of here! Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is fantastic! What would not hold up? What would not hold up? Those controls are tight. The scoring system is great. Those levels are phenomenal. That game ran at 60 frames. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, I mean, and 4.
Solid soundtracks.
Huh?
Solid soundtracks.
Solid soundtracks. Darth Maul was in one of them.
I think he was in
3?
Or was he in 3?
Yeah. That Tokyo level in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is the shit.
3 had Wolverine.
3 had Wolverine. So 4 had, what's his face?
Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, hey, listen, all I'm saying is, those games absolutely hold up today. That is ridiculous. If Ocarina of Time is being argued as in holds up, I'm disagreeing with anyone.
I'm just saying I haven't played it in a while.
What would not hold up? Like, Ocarina has boring dungeons. Tony Hawk had phenomenal levels. Phenomenal.
There are a lot of... looks like there are a lot of problems with 5.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I know.
Like, the Sonic 4...
Yeah, it's more like... It's not even like SSX where they messed it up with one bad mechanic. It's like all of it's just not good.
And they had to put the number there.
I know.
I mean, besides the fact that it's, buggy as hell, and I linked... to the other people in the podcast, I linked some GIFs of bugs from early on. Mm-hmm. Where it's ragdolling into the level and just falling off the board randomly. There's a serious bug involving the Xbox One version where it'll just if you try and start the game with your sign into on the Xbox One, it'll just crash on the title screen. Over and over, unless you sign in with a guest profile. Which is real bad. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, the worst thing is it seems like this doesn't control well.
And Tony Hawk always controlled well.
And part of that is just baffling design decisions. There's the slam button that brings you down to the ground quickly.
Why would you?
And it's on the same button as the grind button.
What?
Grind button is triangle.
So if you're in the air and you press triangle, you will quickly accelerate to the ground.
That could easily screw up your combo.
Which could mess up when you're trying to grind, yeah.
Which, as far as I hear, easily screws up your combo.
You know how you don't do that? Don't add a slam button.
Why would there even be a slam button?
You don't need a slam button. That's part of the game is... You want to get all that hang time so you can do some flips real quick, and then when you're about to land... Get ready for a manual, revert, or... God, these scrubs are playing Tony Hawk!
Or you're trying to go from, one rail to another rail, and, you want to be able to just, magnetize to the rail and not have to worry about it.
Oh my god, that's just part of the game, though. You have to adjust... God damn it, man. We're raising softies right now.
Well, I mean, the problem is that it makes it harder.
Yeah.
Because if you do it, a little bit too early, you just, hit the ground.
Oh my god, why would you ruin such a perfect game?
You want to have that feeling of flow, just
Yeah, I want to hear what would be the mentality to add that. What does it do for the game?
By the way,
I feel they think if they're adding a number, they have to add some new thing to it. 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, they were doing.
That's the problem. Just remaster Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4.
They tried that.
No,
and they fucked it up.
Don't mess it up this time. Do it right. Just come on. Those games.
Same developers tried it. And
all those games need is a proper 1080p 60 frames version that plays tight the way those old games do. Don't spruce it up too much. Don't try to add in some BS mechanic. Like, no. Like, whatever quote-unquote fault those games may have, bring that back with it. Like, no. Those games were great. Those games are great.
I mean, I think the problem is more just that, like, Activision
got rid of Neversoft?
Doesn't care about
and got rid of Neversoft?
Yeah, and got rid of Neversoft. But that shows how little they care about the series, so...
I know. Tony Hawk, you care too much. Did you see Danny O'Dwyer's The Point with Tony Hawk?
I haven't seen it.
That, oh my god, I felt so good watching that. It made me feel all happy. I sort of got in the mood to want to play a new Tony Hawk game. It was like, the game was fun. Because I remember Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, the game had like a create a level thing. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on the PlayStation, by the way, had a create your own map level.
Oh yeah, it did.
Just throwing that out there. Modern video games. So, ideally, if Tony Hawk had never been ruined, one day we would be sharing Tony Hawk skate parks through games.
I mean, Tony Hawk 5 has a create a map level also.
Yeah, but it's not a good game.
But the problem is it's not fun to play any of the levels.
I don't know. I just remember him creating like this weird castle thing where he built... The whole middle thing was one of those, like... I don't know how to describe skate park things. But, like, it was the moat was essentially the thing you would be trying to jump into the castle with. And the castle was, like, high as shit. So you had to build so much momentum. It was, like, so fucking fun to do that. It was just, like, something he came up with, like, when he had some time to kill. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I would love to see that in a modern era where we have all this infrastructure where we could share these levels.
Like a Little Big Planet.
Yeah, but with like a good game like Tony Hawk.
Like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Maker.
Yeah. Oh my god. Best Tony Hawk game. Go, Ben.
3.
Chris.
3. It's the one I played the most.
Aljosa?
3.
Damn, we're all unanimous on this 3 thing.
10 out of 10.
One of us isn't going for 4? What was it about 4 that was worse, in your opinion? Or was that
I didn't even play 4.
Oh,
I only played 2 and 3.
I played so much 4. I played so much of all 4 of them. The
N64
one is the N64 one is the one I don't like, actually. Tony Hawk 1.
They were all kind of like 1 and 2 were on N64.
Yeah. Well, I recognize Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 as the PlayStation game for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think I actually did that way too. Also, I played 2 on the PlayStation and I played 1 on the N64.
Yeah.
They kind of like had to like cut up the soundtrack in order to
I like that you get the skate letters because it reminds me of Donkey Kong when you get the Kong letters.
It's nice. I really like the warehouse as a map in 1.
Oh my god!
I remember just like doing like flips through the little broom up above the half pipe and then landing on the rail on the other side.
Tony Hawk is probably responsible for really bad music ending up in FMVs because I think of playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 as Spider-Man when the song When Worlds Collide comes on.
This is what? Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, this would make a really good montage. And I bet someone really thought that too. And that's how we ended up with Drowning Pool in montage music.
Not all of the music's winners, but a lot.
So anyway, let's get to the ones gotta go. This week I'm actually gonna make it really easy. Only 2 games.
Only 2 games. One's gotta go.
Never existed.
Okay.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater or SSX.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Tony Hawk is gone, yeah.
Get the fuck out! Why?
I don't know if I can agree with that.
How could you let Tony Hawk go?
Because we're Canadian, we like snow.
Over SSX, yo, no question. SSX is one of the best.
Wait,
SSX
or SSX Tricky?
Any SSX as a whole. The whole series is gone.
Yeah,
so that means SSX Tricky and SSX 3 versus... It's basically SSX Tricky and 3 versus Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and 3.
Goodbye, Tony.
Guys are crazy.
I mean,
The combos.
I don't know if I can agree with that. Well, because what does SSX even look like without Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? It doesn't even make sense.
I mean,
to
we're
me.
taking it for face value, the games themselves, assuming.
But I thought we're not. I thought the whole point of this is
I guess this is true.
Well.
Ben does bring up a good point. If we do eliminate Tony Hawk Pro Skater, we do influence. We sort of de facto give up SSX. I guess that's weird.
Tony Hawk, that completely changed what extreme sports games were. Practically created the genre in a way.
Yeah, the reason I didn't add Skate. The reason I didn't add Skate to this because I feel as good of a game as Skate is, no one's really going to bat for it.
I really like Skate, but no,
it's a well-made game. It's the thing. The game that the thing that
I wish Skate was more influential.
Yeah.
I think it's just because Tony Hawk, it's definitely. I don't know, there's just something great about the exhilarating factor of SSX, where it's you're on a
downhill.
mountain. Yeah. That appeals to me more. Yeah. And just doing these ridiculous Uber combos, cutting yourself in half if you're
I just looked it up. Tony Hawk came only about a year before SSX, so I mean, we're really gonna give them that much credit for
That's not true.
The original Tony Hawk?
Yeah, August 31st, 1999.
SSX is a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah, SSX came out 2000, October 2000.
That can't be right.
About more than a year.
That cannot be right.
Look it up.
The original Tony Hawk Pro Skater for
on PS1 is
August 31st, 1999. Holy shit.
And SSX is October 26, 2000.
So they would have already been in development.
Yeah, it is. He's right, Ben. I don't know if a year's... I mean, it's hard to gauge what game development was like back then, but I don't think we can...
The development times were a lot quicker in those days.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're build a game from the ground up quicker.
Yeah, I don't know if they full on... SSX wasn't some... Because 1080p snowboarding was already around then. And what was that other game called?
Cool Borders.
Cool Borders, SSX was just Cool Borders and 1080p snowboarding done good. And I like Cool Borders, but SSX was no, this is SSX is timeless good. The original SSX is still awesome to play. Right? Wazzy gets on about how awesome SSX 3 is, and now just as on SSX Tricky, I'm all those games are great, but even SSX is still good.
No, I'm a 3 fanboy. 3 is my favorite, yeah.
Who's the Tricky person?
Me.
I'm a big SSX 3 guy also.
I'm a Tricky.
Oh, who cares? They're both great!
But yeah,
we wouldn't have...
here.
We wouldn't have SSX 3 if we didn't have SSX Tricky.
We'd still have the song. It's free to rock, but never applied to that context.
Yeah, that's true. That Run DMC song would be completely different now. I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't get rid of I mean, I love SSX, but Tony Hawk, man, there's just something more to the combos in Tony Hawk that feels great. Because, as you said, Chris, a lot of it feels like the same type of moves you're doing. Yes. There was something really badass about Tony Hawk where the time will run out and you still had a combo going.
Right.
I think Tony Hawk is Unique compared to SSX, where Tony Hawk was you give him a playground. It's essentially open world. You can go secret places and stuff. Yeah. So you're not essentially bound by gravity you would in a snowboarding game.
The cheat codes in Tony Hawk were amazing.
Legendary.
Yeah, you get Spider-Man. Yeah, holy fuck.
Big head.
The moon gravity.
Yeah.
And I would go back to it. I would say the level editor gave Tony Hawk new life. Whereas once you sort of S rank, I remember what was it called in S? You gold everything? That was medals, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, in Tony Hawk you get all the cassette tapes, which would be beating the level, and SSX would be gold medals. Once you gold medal everything, because the multiplayer stuff I never thought was that good in SSX. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas multiplayer in Tony Hawk, even Horse in Tony Hawk was fun to me. Fuck, Tony Hawk is so good.
They even fucked up the SSX new one, the multiplayer,
Hey, listen, that new SSX should have been good. It just messed up with one really bad mechanic.
SSX also had, because Tony Hawk, the skaters were usually based off of real
SSX
people.
was more than just one bad mechanic, man.
SSX had, characters. You remember.
That too. Elise.
Yeah, you remember
Yeah,
Elise.
Tony Hawk's had license,
Mac.
guys. Yeah, I don't give a fuck
And
about...
Eddie.
Yeah. I think that's what was wrong about Tony Hawk in the long run, though. Like, not only did they make so many, but then, like, it became Bam Margera's game, and I don't like Bam Margera.
I think the downfall was Thug.
Yeah.
Tony
When
Hawk.
they started adding
A story.
and it's like, alright. They should have never made a Tony Hawk game after Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. Like, as a series of 4 games, that franchise is perfect.
Oh. Thug, like, I was disappointed in Thug at the time just because I couldn't replay it over and over with all the different skaters. Because that's what I did with, like, those games. I just, like, I'd go through the career with one skater and I just do it again and again and again because it's just fun to play.
Yeah.
And Thug, it's just like, I went through the story once and I was like, there's no more game!
Yeah.
But I don't think, like, I think design-wise it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, there are good levels. And Eric Sparrow is a legendary asshole. He's the worst.
Tony Hawk is so awesome. What do you mean he's the worst?
No, Eric Sparrow, the guy who's your friend.
He sucks.
In Thug, and then he like takes credit for your tape.
Mm-hmm.
He gets famous off your shit.
Wait. Is Tony Hawk responsible for bad DJs? Are they responsible for DJ Atomica and freaking Burnout Paradise?
I like DJ Atomica.
You what?
I like DJ Atomica.
DJ Atomica.
I like DJ Atomica in SSX3. I like him in Burnout Paradise.
He was fine in SSX3. He was overkill in Burnout Paradise.
I turned off the DJ in...
Damn, I was really banking on this SSX v Tony Hawk thing to go easily, but me and Ben were pretty easily Tony Hawk, and you two were pretty easily SSX.
It's because we're Canadian. It's in our blood.
Yeah.
No, don't be silly, It's because SX is better. I don't know. I just grew up with SX more than Tony Hawk. That's probably that's why.
They're both such fantastic. I'm mad that style of game is gone, though.
Yeah, like you can't really get either.
Because the indie scene doesn't really give you either. Like, Ollie Ollie is not a skateboarding game. Not in the strictest sense.
And with now, like, with the internet and YouTube and, like, the fun part of Tony Hawk and SX was, like, finding stuff on your own, like, with cheat codes and unlocking stuff. And now you get everything spoiled before you.
Sort of, but, like, the cheat codes weren't the only
DLC.
thing. Like, the other part of it, Tony Hawk was... It played phenomenal.
Oh, I know, yeah, like the levels. Levels had so many secrets and stuff that you like try to get better so you can or like that extra.
But that style of design still has its appeal. Like you still have gaff people going ham about Bayonetta combos. I remember what was it a few years ago when Bulletstorm had that demo. Like, we got super into it because we were just comparing scores. SSX was another one. The exact same scenario happened a year later.
Exact same scenario.
Where the demo came out, you and Chris were bragging about who had a higher score, and then the game came out and you both didn't give a crap.
I cared for a weekend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wanted to keep giving the game a chance, whereas Joseph gave up on it really quickly.
Yeah, I bailed soon as I played one of Deadly Descents, I bailed quicker than...
that was bad.
Yeah, they
bailed quicker than Tony Hawk.
Oh, man. I don't know. It's just sad. I just really would like a new Tony Hawk or SSX. Those games are fantastic.
I knew that game was in trouble when, like, 2 months before the game came out, they just switched the art style because their graphics were so shit.
Oh, God, it looked like a PS2 game. I was like, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 looks better than Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, man.
Oh, yeah. That shit looked weird, dude.
Oh. I do recommend anyone.
Like the Mortal Kombat style, like the old games, where like you would have like real people in it, but it'd be like so like digitized,
It looked really bad. It did look really bad. Damn. All right. Moving on from Tony Hawk, I do recommend you go watch The Point on GameSpot.com and listen to Danny O'Dwyer's interview with Tony Hawk himself. That shit's awesome. It is really funny because then he says things like, I didn't want them to, like, they didn't show any respect to my license, blah, blah, blah. I learned that, they didn't care about the product. And it's funny. It's like, Tony, you put your name on the ride.
Yeah. You still said yes.
Yeah. But, hey, listen, there was a good window where Tony Hawk was the name in gaming for a little while. Those were awesome games. Absolutely Game of the Year contenders for their respective years.
Yep.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 was a better game than original SSX. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. Right, Ben?
Yep.
Anyway.
I don't know about that.
What do you... You would really take the original SSX over Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2?
Maybe I'm just because I'm watching these Tony Hawk gifs.
You forget in original Tony Hawk Pro Skater, these gifs never happened.
Yeah, it's true.
This is true.
Oh my god. We talked Soma, we talked Tony Hawk. I don't know what else we got. Oh, we got the question this week from Angels and Demons. Because I didn't...
Great question. It's a great
good question. You thought about this, apparently. His question was, do any of you have a game that signifies a particularly meaningful period in your life? He told his story about how he went through a breakup and what game he was playing and how he worked through it. Like I don't want to share all of it because it was a little too personal, even though it's
on the forum.
Which is public, but whatever. I figured putting on blast on podcast would be a little inappropriate.
Yeah.
So
on our website. Yeah.
Christopher, what would be a game? What game represents a meaningful part of your life?
Allow me to indulge myself because I did think about this for a long time. Because I do have one specific game in mind for this question, but for the most part, every distinctive era in my life has been defined by some sort of. It's usually a social gaming experience. It's not just like I'm playing one game. Right. So like at my youngest, it was I was playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist on Sega Genesis or Dreamcast, with my cousins. And we would just play that all the time, just try to get as far as we could, but then you die and you go all the way back. So that reminds me of my cousins. And then my entire family and my oldest friends, we switched over to Pokemon Red and Blue on the Game Boy. And I can vividly remember us just getting together and just sitting in random places around the room, periodically like updating one another on the progress and the latest Pokemon we caught. Right. And then moving on from that, it was like the Mario Kart, Mario Party, Super Smash Bros. Era on the N64 that like kind of made and broke countless friendships. But then after that, so I can remember all those very vividly, but then the eras started to get really sparse and spread out as people like kind of like lost interest in video games or just had different hobbies to do. And Halo 2 was the next really big one. And that was basically like all of middle school. And then Halo 3 kind of extended that into high school. And I can always remember like after school hopping online and that's like all we did. And then after that, it was like nothing. Like maybe Halo Reach. Remember, like I was in university. I think you had, you were a little bit further, and that like was a bit of a spark, but that wasn't anything like the previous eras. But then this all kind of leads me back to that one specific game I mentioned, in that I personally burn through games really, really quick, especially considering single player games where I spend most of my time. So like a month is not a period of time or an era for me. It's not enough time. But after the Mass Effect 3 fiasco that I've talked about numerous times, my love for the hobby was waning rather dramatically. And honestly, with no kind of big social gaming experience to fall back on, like a Halo or a Pokemon.
Because we stopped playing Halo around that time, too.
Yeah, I thought that was it. Like, I'm done. It's over. I like maybe I'll return to video games every once in a while, but it's not going to be like an ongoing thing. And I'll add on top of that, in the summer of 2012, so right after Halo or Mass Effect 3, a lot of people from my hometown, like some of who I've known for a really long time, were just all like dying in these tragic, unrelated circumstances. So I was feeling this weird ambivalence to a lot of things that used to interest me, and then Persona 3 came along and kind of like single-handedly reignited my passion for games. And when I remember the summer of 2012 and how I was just kind of like in this mood where I couldn't write, video games I didn't care about, Persona 3 was just kind of like everything kickstarted. So when I think of summer 2012, it's Persona 3. And then it led into Persona 4 and my love for Persona.
Which is now one we're stuck with because you won't get rid of it.
No. But yeah, for me, it wasn't necessarily like I can always think back. Oh yeah, it was like eras, and it was always multiplayer games because they had legs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's something about it. Like I think someone brought it up when we were doing Game of the Gen. I think it was Aaron. He was like, "Wow, a lot of your games were single player focused, even though multiplayer is so important to a lot of people." And I was like, it doesn't mean we don't like multiplayer. I was like, multiplayer is actually a really important part of this medium, like the social aspect of gaming. For God knows what reason, the gaming community should, like, embrace more than they really do. Because, like, whatever. Like, I think they've associated multiplayer with shooters too much.
Right.
And forgot that, like, Rock Band was a cool time.
Oh,
like, Mario Kart was a fun time. Smash Brothers is hilarious when you get a group of friends together. Yeah. So even a game I'm not super into, but Mortal Kombat has like these weird modes, right? Like where it puts different like damage principles on each character. Like it'll create like the most imbalanced shit. Yeah. But that sounds funny as hell if you're drinking a few beers and just have to have a few people over playing games. Right. My friends no longer play games that way.
Yeah.
But like that's my situation. But I still play games with, for instance, you guys online here and there. I enjoy shooting the shit with you guys and talking about games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if we ever met in person, I would never want to play a game together like that necessarily. Be like, all right, let's go to a bar.
Right.
Because alcohol. But whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't feel like
I'm offended by your choice of words there. Yeah, you said if. It should be when we meet up in person.
When? I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, there you go.
So, Chris, I actually like a lot of your answers. I think a lot of my answers they're not going to be the same games, but they're going to be in that similar vein. Because that's part that sucks about growing up, man. It's the thing me and my boy Eric have been coming across is just like, yo, I barely get to hang out with you sometimes because, you know, I'll be at work from 4 to freaking 2 p.m. and then I'm home. And then if I'm working at the restaurant, that's a whole day I'm at work, basically.
Right.
And then the weekends, you know, I don't see him until like way late into the night. And then, you know, you're drinking. So you're not really talking necessarily in the true sense.
No, yeah, that's for me and my friends. Now when we hang out, like Rock Band has just made this huge resurgence.
Yeah.
And now with Rock Band 4 coming out next
I'm
week.
Happy for you that Rock Band 4 is
so hype. Yeah, no, for some reason I've had Rock Band. I've always been the biggest Rock Band fan. I always tell my friends to come over and they never wanted to do it. And now suddenly that alcohol becomes involved, like everyone is on Rock Band. Like
I'm telling you, alcohol isn't necessarily the only thing though. I think when you get older, you stop giving a shit about stupid petty things and just realize, man, I really would like to hang out with my friends a little bit more. Because now it's becoming more and more of a rare thing. Like, I remember Eric's dad telling us one day, and just be like, listen, when you grow up, you're going to realize who your real friends are.
Yeah.
Because you're going to stop seeing so many of them. But the ones you keep talking to, just randomly finding time to call, we text message in this era, please.
Yeah.
But, like, the one you find time, like, I'll just shoot my boy a text here out of nowhere about bullshit. Complete utter bullshit. But, like, I'm just doing it just to be like,
what's up?
Fuck, I haven't seen this kid in a while, you know? Yeah. So, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it just used to be, I remember, like, especially in the Halo 3 days, you wouldn't see someone for a while, but you jump online and play a custom game with them.
Yeah.
And then you catch up, and, like, I remember being up until, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, just sitting in a lobby or just, like, screwing around trying to, like, do big bounces or some random shit like that, and just talking with people. And we're not playing the game anymore. And I feel like, in a certain aspect, when, like nowadays, most of the time, when you're playing a game, you need to play the game. Yeah. And I feel like there should be some level of, I don't know, maybe we're just older and people have better things to do. Like, I like the idea of just hopping online to talk.
No, I think the modern era of gamers are missing out on certain things that we had the luxury of.
Yeah.
I've got an interesting answer, actually, I think.
Sure.
Like for me, it's like mostly multiplayer games, and I have experience kind of like, I think, you know, you mentioned, Chris, like with my friends in high school playing like a ton of Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
Like we had a lounge and like we had like a room for ourselves in senior year, and like we brought like a TV in and we would just like play Smash Bros. During free time. It was awesome. But I think for me more recently, like when I was in Japan, like Monster Hunter was a bit of a turning point for me, in terms of like when I first got there. You know, I was in like a completely new country. I didn't know anybody. I was like the only guy around, and eventually I was able to like start making friends. And I feel like Monster Hunter kind of marks that for me in a way. I mean, it was a while between after I met the person I would play Monster Hunter with and when I got the game, but like that was something that we could do together. And like we had like a time every week, like I'd come in and I could look forward to. And like, you know, so that's like a way that games kind of brought me into this community that I was having a hard time accessing before.
And then in America, me and Brian just let you down on the Monster.
And then you guys just let me down. You just let me down. I know where my friends are now. It's like you said, you get older and you realize who you're.
You realize that you're
He's turning my words on me.
those who play Monster Hunter and those who do not.
So Rocket League means nothing. Okay.
I'm just messing around, but yeah, I don't know if I have a game like in his example, like a single player game that I worked through a period in my life with, but multiplayer games for me are like the kind of like social thing that can extend outside of the experience of the game itself and bring in all this other stuff.
Oh, Josie, you got anything?
Nope. Most of my stuff is related to music. I can't think of anything with games.
Oh, music is open.
What do you do with music?
I'd rather not talk about that. That shit relationship-wise, I'm not...
Okay,
that's a whole can of worms.
Did you know the first time I got dumped, that stupid Neo song came on? So sick.
So sick? I'm so sick of love song.
And halfway through, like, that song would just keep coming on. Like, I was getting beat up on that song, man. I was like, oh.
Just had it after you.
Yo, for
right?
real.
And then just one day you realized you now know what all those love songs meant.
I know. Suddenly remembered what it means to, Suddenly I understood Neo's words. I was like, I understand your pain, Neo.
Isn't it funny how, like, I'm not saying necessarily that song is shit, but, like, how a shitty song that, like, in a different period of your life you would just brush off, how suddenly it, like, means something to you. And even if you, like, get over it, you always look back on that song, you're like, I still respect that song.
That song, it means something to me, yes.
Yeah.
That's really profound.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
that's what Angels and Demons was saying. Like, even though I think he had a negative opinion of Darksiders too.
Yeah. It's kind
still
of...
means something to him.
Well, because it depends on what your point in your life was. And
I've got one I could think of.
Go for it.
Gears of War 2.
I knew it was going to be fucking Gears of War 2.
Because when I played that game, I realized that it's not that bad. Life can always get better, because I've been playing Gears of War 2. So I was like, yeah.
Right.
The best anti-bullying campaign ever.
So you don't have, like, any other, like, game that represents a different part of your life, your childhood, or anything, or... Like, yeah, I gotta have one game that, like, speaks to the soul.
Oh, okay, I got one.
Like, Chris talked about that Genesis game, Ninja Turtles.
I got one. The first console I got, like growing up, like we weren't like wealthy or rich or like farthest from the way, like we were immigrants, refugees, and whatever. Mm-hmm. And the first time that my parents bought me a console was Christmas in 98 or 99. I can't remember. I got Genesis, Sonic 2. I cried so hard that day. Like,
that's adorable, because that console's like 4 or 5 years old already.
Yeah, because like we didn't have anything, right? All I had was a Game Boy that I got passed down from like the 80s. Cute. And then like the first console, like, because we went to our cousin's house a lot, and they had a PS1 back in like 99 or whatever. And then my parents just bought me a Genesis for Christmas. This was like 99, so with a Sonic 2. And when I got it, I cried and I stayed up all night and played that game. And I beat it in the morning in one sitting. And
That's amazing.
And I was like, yo, where are more games at? No, I didn't say that, but yeah, I beat it in one sitting. That was a good time.
Now I feel bad about ever shitting on Sonic the Hedgehog too.
That was his best Christmas. That was best Christmas by far. And I almost forgot about that until you mentioned like what game.
So I mentioned that you might have a soul in there somewhere.
Let's not get carried away, but even Baby Hitler had feelings. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like that Sonic 2, and I got that as a kid. Yeah, that was like the greatest moment of like gaming wise. That and playing Pokemon Silver and seeing there's a whole other world after Johto.
Yeah.
Pivotal moment of my childhood. Yeah, those two.
Little did you know, a few years later, only hours away, that another boy's Christmas would be ruined.
Majora's Mask. And then like at that young age too, and I was playing Pokemon, like Silver and Kanto. I was like, yo, why is Brock at level 50 Pokemon? You know, those guys that start new there must be so stupid to him. That there's level 50 with a big the fucking golem and a big ass Steelix. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Can't even leave the town.
Yeah, could you imagine like it's like the people who were there a year before, like, yeah, Brock's easy, man, good trainer. Someone who's like 11 years old goes to Brock, gets destroyed. He's like, yo, you told me you had an Onyx. It's a Steelix now. What the fuck?
Dude, he had a Geodude. That's just a golem.
I
Because
spent
it'd be enough people with Pokemon leveled up.
farming the Pidgeotto to get a level 50.
Yeah, but without like 5 badges, you can't level up anything high enough.
You can't control them.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
yeah.
that is the Pokemon equivalent of like today's economy and job market, where your parents are like, oh, it's easy, you can get a job, you can do this, no problem. And then when you get there, it's like impossible. You need like a master's degree to work at McDonald's. That's the same thing in Pokemon. It's like, no, Brock is the easiest one. Just get him done. And then they grow up and get to Brock, and he's got a Steelix, and it crushes them.
We've ended in a place where we're describing Pokemon as like an allegory for freaking modern economy.
This has gotten real dark.
That's the truth right there.
Josiah, I like your pick. I thought that story was sweet.
It was.
Yeah, man, that's when I was like 7. Yeah, that was good times.
I was guessing on Ben's story being when he got his game
7
from his
or
parents.
6, something like that.
I like your story when you told when your parents thought you'd forget by the age of 10, and then you were like, nope.
Nintendo 64. Yep.
You're like, nope. I remembered. Give me my console, please.
That's awesome.
It's legit. It's legit.
Yeah, no, it is strange how I don't know. Video games, I still love playing them. I love playing Metal Gear Solid 5, but I don't know if, like, looking back in 10 years, I'll be like, oh, remember the time when we were playing this game?
It's hard to look back at certain games like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to look back at
4.
just, like, the great games. Like, Resident Evil 4, I look back at in that way. Resident Evil 4, it's just so fun. It's a weird description. But, like, when I look
Does
back
it have,
at...
like, an era, though? Does it describe a period?
It doesn't describe a period to me, whereas, like...
I mean, things like that have more to do with, like, where your life is than necessarily, like, the game itself. It's, like, just, like, there has to be kind of a serendipity.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I don't know. You'll probably look back at Metal Gear Solid 5 and The Witcher 3 as, like, when you first were, like, teaching, Chris. Student teaching.
Yeah, but I don't feel like those two things even relate to each other. Other than, like, I shirked my duties as a teacher to play Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, you're going to remember that. I mean, I remember... Because I remember staying up... Like, I don't like Resident Evil 5 that much, but I always remember. Like, I remember playing that game in one night with my buddy Matt.
Yeah.
And then going to Carrabba's the next day on no sleep, being grumpy as fuck during the entire shift. And everybody's like, God, what's got you in the bad mood? I was like, it's nothing. Just get no sleep.
That's a good point. Actually, I will remember Metal Gear Solid 5 because I remember that weekend I was calling Best Buys all across London, seeing who had a midnight opening because I wanted to get it that night. And it was like this big debate, do I get the digital online court? And then, like, as I was just about to just buy it digitally through the PlayStation Store, I got the call saying, you have this job for Tuesday, September 1st. I was like, son of a fucking bitch, I won't be able to go to this midnight opening anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it kind of reminds me of that Kite Tales video where she's like, this is a video game, and she's like, that someone liked you enough to work overtime to get a game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that sweet ass video. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of like, that's what it is at the end of the day, you know, for a lot of people.
It doesn't even matter the game, Like
I mean, like I said, it seems like none of us had like this like dark thing they had to deal with personally in this group, at least.
I just feel like video games is not where I go. Because if I'm playing single player, that's isolating, and that would just make me feel kind of worse. If I'm playing multiplayer, I wouldn't feel compelled to communicate anyways.
Yeah, I don't really go to video games for escapism.
But like at the same time, we did fine with this meaningful period part.
Different meaningful. Yeah,
I guess.
I remember playing Batman Arkham City and like spending 10 hours one weekend, just like sitting there getting Riddler trophies, and then I finished it and I was in Japan and I went out and I was walking to get dinner. I was like, just what the fuck did I do with my day? What's wrong?
Even your story has been descending. Why would you do that one?
What the fuck did I do?
I was like, we've all had that story, Ben. Trust me. I'm pretty sure.
I'll always remember that.
I will remember beating Saints Row 4 after like this ridiculous marathon where you guys are like, when Chris was like, how many hours do you have in that game already? And I'm like, 13.
Yeah.
And like, I have to go get dinner now because I skipped breakfast and lunch and stuff. at like.
I haven't moved from this chair.
I haven't moved from a chair. Saints Row 4 is so fun and stupid. I called out of work.
I did the same. I remember it was like I had to go to school or something the next day. Mm-hmm. But Mass Effect 2 was out, so I like playing it scanned for like 2 hours. And then, it was like 3 o'clock, and I was like a sloth molding into my chair, and I just kind of looked around. I was like, what the fuck? It's planet scanning?
Yeah. I remember missing syllabus day for Mass Effect 2. Which is fine by me, I'm sorry. The first day of class is so pointless. You get a syllabus, that's it. That is the highlight of that day. So
I tried getting out of a university exam for Mass Effect 2 because it came out on the day. You know how hard it is? I can tell you because I went through the entire process. And the only reason I couldn't do it is because right at the end they asked for a doctor's note. I was like, son of a bitch.
Almost got it.
Yeah, it's so hard to switch exam times. You have to drive somewhere else usually, and I was willing to do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the doctor's note.
I was willing to drive somewhere else.
I was willing to drive to a different city to take an exam.
For a video game. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're terrible.
Anyway.
I've just had time to think about my answers, but Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, all three of them, because besides the fact that the first game is my first actual game that I owned, and the SNES is like my first system, my dad bought Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3 for me. And, like, they were, like, the last things he got me before he bounced. So I remember, like, really being attached to those games. And then, like, it sort of got stolen from another kid, right?
Yeah.
And I remember crying my eyes out. And my mom's like, it's okay. Stole my Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. And, because, like, the whole time I was, like, in, like, complete denial that my dad left us, right?
Right.
And, like, I was making all these excuses for my dad, which pissed me off. Like, if ever there's a reason I hate half my family, it's that some of my mom's friends always thought it was funny, like, how much I bought into the idea my dad's gonna be back. Like, that's a fucked up thing to joke around with a kid.
So fucked up.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad someone understands.
It is, wow.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Like, whatever. But I remember just crying. My mom was like, it's okay, I'll just buy you a new one. For the record, my mom is a single parent who did not speak a lick of English and has been working some really shitty jobs. So understand I do love my mom enough that I know how much she sacrificed to get me some of the shit I wanted. That was not cheap. Mm-hmm. Right? So when I finally said something, I just cried about my dad the whole time. Like, it had nothing to do with the games. Like, I didn't get how he could be, like, capable of doing his job enough to, like, get me things I wanted to play, but then, like, just leave. So, those games have always had, like, an emotional resonance for me. Like, I've always, like, valued them in that sense. Not only because of my love for the game, but just because who bought them for me. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, like, I think I always think of Georgie. And that, NASCAR Thunder 2004 is another one. Anyone that doesn't know, on a lot of forums, my name is JG4XChamp. That's Jeff Gordon, and I've never watched NASCAR. So let me explain, well, at least until that game. Like, the only reason is because he was super into racing games, and we played so much of it. I randomly picked a driver, and this was when we were still into wrestling, right? Anyone that's seen Booker T, he does five-time WCW champion. I thought Jeff Gordon had 5 titles, right? So I just picked Jeff Gordon. So I was like, 5-time! And then we looked at the thing, because they had a thing that showed you what years he won his title. It was 4. So, funny story there.
4 times.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I still ended up liking it. I got into NASCAR because of him. And I remember one race at the Brickyard. Just livid. Because the race before, I bumped him out of the way to take first place. Right? And he gave me so much shit for cheesing him. Little shit. And at the Brickyard, last lap, I have, like, led every lap up until this point. He doesn't bump me. He spins me the fuck out.
Just
straight away. No caution flag comes out. So, everyone runs by me. I go from 1st to 43rd. He's laughing. I am cursing up a storm. Mrs. Maeve comes down and is like, "Guy, you need to go home." What's his name? I was so furious, but like I miss having that type of game. We would get so heated during games. Oh my god, No Mercy! He would get so mad because you know how No Mercy, like you just grab someone as they're getting up. It's like the most unbalanced thing in the world. Yeah, I would constantly keep doing it. He's like, that's so cheesy. I'm like, it's the game. What do you want me to do? That's like they made the bad fighting engine. So that was fun. Melee is a big one for me as well. I remember Melee going to my boy Malik's house. We'd Eric, George, we'd go there. We split the entire Smash Brothers roster, kind of like a an NFL draft, right? Like these were your characters. This was your team.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was super nerdy. Don't hate, Ben. Which worked. Like I got specifically the characters I liked using, Marth and. Whatever. I'd rather play as Fox than Falco, but I was fine settling for Falco. He was so fast enough that I could wreck other people.
Yeah,
and I always hated
they're both top tiers.
Yeah. But Marth, he could actually kick my ass with his Roy though. My Marth always had trouble with his, and I think Marth is a better character, isn't he?
Yeah.
Marth is a cheap fucking character.
So that's another era, and then Halo 2, like Chris said, it sort of represents two different periods. The middle part of high school, because I remember just never touching the actual matchmaking of Halo 2 because we had so many people online every day for custom games. Like, we always had 16 people.
Yep. Constantly.
I never knew what ranked looked like in Halo 2 for, like, the longest time. And then that first year of college in Queen's University of Charlotte, I believe the dorm was called, God, I'm getting old because I don't remember the dorm name. But it was me, my roommate, Steve Stewart. We were playing against another room of kids with this kid named Logan and Brian. There was another pair of kids upstairs, this Andrew Chin kid, and like this Asian dude who was like the cheapest fuck. He would always throw a grenade as he's dying.
Oh, he's a ringer.
He's a ringer, yes. Like he would make these like runs where he's gonna, whatever, you're gonna kill him, but he's gonna get that grenade kill on you. And I just remember, like, this whole dorm room was just, like, shit-talking across rooms. The other two kids were upstairs, like I said, which, like, in the grand scheme of things, sure did more in college then. But that's there, too. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. After that, then it gets a little less blurry. Like, again, my friends started to game less.
Yeah. No, it is weird if you, like, track the chronology of it, how the earlier years, it's probably weirdly easier, even though it's further back in time. And then it just starts to sprawl and become very quick, like little blips here and there. Like Bad Company 2 was an era for a couple months for me and my friends.
Yeah. Halo Reach, I think of like a Gufu time period. I think that was the Gufu game for a while.
Right, yeah. But yeah, it just then fits and starts. Nothing sticks. And I feel like that comes with the franchisization that we talked about last time, where games are, the sequel's coming next year, so don't get invested.
Yeah.
That's why you need a game like Dota 2 that will always be there for you.
Okay. Anyway. I was going to say, I'm definitely like you guys, where outside of the Donkey Kong story, I can't think of another, like when Georgie passed away, I didn't play video games. It was just, yeah, we went through the funeral.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I waited it out until I got online for Gears of War, but it wasn't like Gears of War wasn't how I... Gears of War is a terrible game to work that through anyway.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I got one more.
I got dumped, and I don't think I played a video game to get over being dumped. You know, like Ninja Gaiden 2 might have been that game at one point.
I got one I just thought of.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember, like, after the fire happened, Gagan bought me The World Ends With You. It's one of my favorite RPGs, like, full stop. That game's amazing. Gagan, you the best, yeah.
I love you, Ajay.
That was really cute.
Love you too. Yeah, he bought me The World Ends With You, and I told him to buy me this guy also, and then I kind of damped the mood. No, I'm just kidding.
That did damp the mood. Speaking of which, I guess, hey, look, we're getting good at these segues, guys, because you guys are unintentionally doing them now. I did want to talk about, like, October next month, right?
Oh, boy.
Game releases, because, hey, like I said, it's supposed to be a really good year, and it sort of is.
It is.
Right?
It's a good year.
Right. I might want to take a slight break just to get ourselves in position, because I have to open something. Never mind. But, do you really think it's that good of a year, though? Like, that good of a year? Because my thing is this. When we were kids, or when gaming was, like, at this, like, really, like, healthy place, I feel like. Right? I felt like the holiday run was the run. Like, the holiday runs have always been, like... Because I feel like when people think of the best years, I keep coming back to this, it's like, people keep making the mistake of separating holiday run from the entire year. Because 2010, to me, great year, but people think it's not that good because the holiday's actually weak that year.
Right.
Whereas, like, 2007, I think, is actually not that strong, but holiday 2007 actually really badass.
Slayed.
And let me explain this to you. October of 2007. All right. I took out what I considered notable releases. Here's what I'm saying. Remakes didn't count. Oh, sorry. Ports didn't count. So if, like, a game was coming to a different platform, but it was already out at this point, it doesn't count. This covers DS, PSP, PC, 360, blah, blah, blah. There, either the franchise is important, either the game was well received, or the game sold, alright? Boom, wham, bam. This is how I just did the releases, alright? October 2007, the Nintendo DS got The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. The PlayStation Portable got Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. Then the other systems also got... there was Phoenix Wright 3, the third Phoenix Wright game. I think that came out on the DS. Mega Man ZX Advert. Okay, wham bam. We're done with the handhelds, right? I'll get into the 360. Project Gotham Racing 4. The Orange Box. Beautiful Katamari. Ace Combat 6. Guitar Hero 3 at a point before Guitar Hero wasn't shitty or something. Like,
Guitar Hero 3 was good.
Guitar Hero 3 was, like, yeah, that was one of the last... That was right before Rock Band had came out. Because Rock Band is November of that year. And Virtual Fighter 5, and while technically it's a port, I made the exception for this reason, the 360 version was the one that went online.
True.
So, counting the PS3 version from earlier in the year as the real version is ridiculous.
What was on the PS3?
It was on the PS3 earlier that year.
No, what was on the PS3 in October?
A lot of those same games, but also Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction. Ratchet and Clank, a big series. Yeah. The Wii that month got Zack and Wiki. One of the underrated games of last gen, in my opinion. I actually really like Zack and Wiki.
I like that game. It was too fucking hard for me. I'm not good at those games.
But PC got, and well, I don't think this game is good, but, well, I mean, considering the conversation of this year, The Witcher. Like, think about that for a second. Think of that month right now. You have a pair of new IPs, at least, I think, if I'm reading this right, in The Witcher and Zack and Wiki. Zack and Wiki went on to become nothing, but whatever. Like, The Witcher went on to become The Witcher 3 this year, so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had the Orange Box, so let's go over there. You had an expansion to a Half-Life 2 game, which last I checked, people really like Half-Life. Portal.
Ooh.
And Team Fortress 2.
Ooh.
All right,
still the gold standard.
Yeah, like you have a racing game that month in Project Gotham Racing 4 that I think is a really good racer. You had games like Katamari Damacy. Is it Katamari Damacy or Damacy?
Damacy.
All right, so beautiful Katamari. Beautiful Calamari, like Katamari.
Calamari.
Beautiful Calamari would be a cool game too, but Beautiful Katamari, like we don't get games like that anymore. When was the last time you saw a Katamari-like game?
Was Beautiful Katamari the one where they sold the ending separately?
No one needs to remember that part, Ben. Is that really the one?
That was Xbox exclusive, right?
Maybe.
It was that one. It was the other one that was exclusive to Xbox.
Leaves a bad taste.
Okay, I guess that leaves a bad taste. But come on, Ace Combat 6, back before Ace Combat was destroyed. We don't get games like Ace Combat anymore. I bring that up because...
So... Yeah.
When you look at the October lineup this year, it looks really vanilla, and I got the noteworthy downloadable stuff for next month, Ben. At least barring someone coming out of nowhere like the Stanley Parable guy. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, let me read this to you. October 2015 is Disgaea 5.
Okay.
Rock Band 4.
Oh, baby.
Like, a comeback for Rock Band, like it, but now we're on Rock Band 4. Like, that's where we've come since October 2007.
That game's gonna tank.
Yeah. Transformers Devastation. So, like, the billionth Transformers video game.
Yeah, this is the one from Platinum, though.
Hey, I'm just saying, like the billion transfer game. You're comparing it to a month where The Witcher and at least Zack and Wiki is a new IP.
It's not the same. It's true.
And Portal. I don't know why I keep letting Portal out, because it says Orange Box. Portal came out. Right? Portal, Zack and Wiki, and Witcher. 3 new ideas. For the most part. Yoshi's Woolly World, so like the 4th game starring Yoshi. Fatal Frame 5. Which, okay, like only the 3rd one. There's no 5 in it, but it's the 5th one.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 50.
Yep, can't wait.
I'm pretty sure it's called Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Whatever, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, so like, hooray, another Zelda game. Not even a good-looking one.
Guitar Hero Live.
Halo 5 Guardians, and I keep coming at this. Halo 5 Guardians. I'm just talking October, Chris. I think Guitar Hero Live is November.
No, it's October.
It is? Okay, I'm sorry. So Guitar Hero Live. But like, think about it. You're not even excited for Guitar Hero now.
No, why would I be excited for
Yeah, whereas like Guitar Hero 3 was coming off of like how hyped Guitar Hero 2 was. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I thought Halo was November.
Halo 5 is October, the tail end of October.
Oh.
And 2007, Halo could not have been a more anticipated game. 2015, tell me with a straight face you think Halo 5 is that anticipated.
I forgot until yesterday that it's out in like a few weeks, yeah. Thought it was like 2016 game for the longest time.
Yeah, like is it the most anticipated game by gamers
for
the holiday? I think Fallout 4 would be the winner of that.
Easily.
You know, is it necessarily the most anticipated Xbox One exclusive this year? Are we really sure that, like, at least from, like, the internet crowd, they're not more interested in Tomb Raider?
No, Halo
Fallout
tops,
4 is the thing, I forgot.
Halo tops Tomb Raider at this point.
Sure. Are we sure the multiplayer crowd isn't more interested in Battlefront going forward, though?
Ooh, that could be an interesting Battlefront.
And are we really sure Halo's getting that kind of reverence where, like, well, this is a Call of Duty, and it's almost like it is basically Call of Duty?
I think after Halo 4 and
that's what I'm saying.
And Master Chief Collection at this point.
I'm just looking at October, and I'm like, man, the beginning of the holiday run this year isn't looking all that hype. Like, Metal Gear Solid 5 is great. But...
Well, I mean, like, I think it's a different world.
I know, that sucks, though!
For a few reasons, though. One, I think the good reason is that I think games now spread out more across the year than they used to.
Mm-hmm.
So like before they got really, really, really crowded around the holiday, and now people are more willing to put out, like, move a good game to like come out in like March or June or whatever. You get more stuff there. I mean, like, we had like an amazing February this year.
Yeah, but I'm still like, well, we had a great March this year.
March
this year. I think March this year was like some absurd shit like Monster Hunter 4 came out in March, Ori came out in March, Hotline Miami 2 came out in March. There was another big game in March. Was it The Witcher 3's month? No, Witcher 3 was May. Pillars of Eternity was in March.
Yeah, like
Bloodborne. Bloodborne was the March game.
I thought that was February. I thought that was all February.
No, Bloodborne was March.
March 24th.
Yeah.
Then it was March.
Yeah, I remember saying, like, it was a great month because it satisfied us on multiple pillars. There was big AAA release in Bloodborne. There was a middle tier with Pillars of Eternity, and then there were, like, really quality indie stuff. Well, I guess Ori could be middle tier. But there was a really quality indie stuff with Hotline Miami 2, Helldivers, and stuff like that. And then even the handheld space. Like, I'm just looking back at that 07 lineup, and I'm going, man, the DS was a good system. And then I'm looking at this year, and I'm going, man, the 3DS sucks.
This year?
The 3DS sucks, period.
I mean, this month, but...
Period.
Monster Hunter.
They had one game.
Monster Hunter? Yeah, Majora's Mask. Great game.
Oh, not even a remake, it's a port.
Of a bad game.
Of a good game. Come on, don't put Majora's Mask. Like, I literally just said no ports.
Yeah, don't
stretch.
Final Fantasy Tactics is one thing. They remade that game, and they made it awesome. You know what I mean? But and while we're at it, like I mentioned a PSP game, a great PSP game. Where the fuck is the Vita?
Oh, that's
what is the Vita right now? What is handheld gaming going forward? It's not. It's nothing.
Vita's not doing much unless you want really each Japanese games. But I feel like games are a lot more spread out across.
Yeah, and I'm saying
across platforms and
listen
across levels.
Okay, listen. I'm trying to say this though, as someone who had a crusade against handheld games for so long.
How does it feel to have
You
won?
cannot debate with me that the 3DS and Vita aren't pathetic right now.
Compared to the DS, they are not. It's not as good. No,
I have almost as many.
The 3DS is the worst handheld Nintendo.
I have almost as many 3DS games as I do DS games. It's like 21 to 20 or so.
the handheld market's contracted.
Yeah, you really have that many 3DS games that you like as much as the DS's best stuff?
I don't know about as much as the DS's best stuff, but there's a lot of good games on my shelf. I've got...
Like the 3DS had a quick run, and now it's like, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I think a loss
8.
in the whole, the Wii U is a stinker, is that the 3DS is actually not that good. And whatever, everyone knows.
I think the 3DS is a solid platform, but...
You say this, but...
It is.
It got Link Between Worlds that 1 year, and then it got Monster Hunter 4. Outside of that, what are we gassing up?
Super Mario 3D World, Fire Emblem...
Super Mario 3D World is on the Wii U.
I mean, 3D Land is good.
Came out before Zelda.
Good game?
I mean, since Zelda.
20 3DS games, yeah.
Since Zelda?
Since Zelda, what else has that system gotten? Other than Monster Hunter 4, that's been more...
I don't know, I don't follow 3DS releases.
Etrian Mystery Dungeon, Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Survivor 2, the 3DS one, Etrian Odyssey, Untold 2, Pokemon...
Isn't that a remaster? No, it's a remake, sorry.
Pokemon Alpha, Sapphire.
Pokemon Alpha is not counting. That is a goddamn port.
Persona Q.
Okay.
What else? All right.
But that's like more one-dimensional than
the
DS
rest of them are older.
Whereas the DS wasn't JRPG fan or bust.
I don't really have.
You could play Hotel Dusk or Elite Beat Agents if you.
I don't really have any like newer 3DS games. Most of my 3DS games are from like pre-2015.
There was that good stretch.
Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies.
Yeah, remember when Phoenix Wright was like this new thing to our country, and then they didn't make more new things because Capcom is gone.
I've been thinking of buying the new 3DS, the Animal Crossing one.
Did you know they made a 6th Professor Layton? I think I know they made a 5th one.
Oh yeah, sure.
A 6th one. I remember loving that first game in 2008. I don't give a shit that they keep making more of those.
But I mean, like the handheld market has really contracted.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I was like, I want a holiday run like the good, like what Chris thinks of 07. I want that kind of holiday run again.
I couldn't use that kind of... That's too many games for me right now. I couldn't play that many games.
I know
I'm much
that.
happier like this.
I know that, but I miss it. I miss it.
Goggin wants
I want a holiday run where so many games come out. We just go, fuck, we didn't play this game. We didn't play that game. We didn't play... This year, I feel like, yeah, you guys will probably still do it, but it'll be more because laziness than anything.
Goggin wants to eat an entire chocolate cake and not think about the consequences.
Yes, I want that type of moment again. I want to hear those kind of stories because we grew up in that kind of generation.
If that happens again, I'm just gonna be like looking at this big chocolate cake, being like, I don't have any time. I can't.
That's fine. Our time is up with that shit, but you know we're allowed to let the new generation enjoy it a little too. As far as they're concerned, their holiday run is February. Ben February.
And that's my birthday, so I actually can afford
Q1? No, Q4 was the quarter.
We had Metal Gear Solid 5 and Super Mario Maker in the same month.
Well, it's because Q4 is now renowned for being overly populated, so big games just get pushed to Q1.
Yeah, the problem is, and it's annoying.
Or if you're Persona 5, you get pushed to Q3 for no fucking reason.
Let me hit you with another October. October 2011. Not that many games, but you'll see what I mean. Alien Infestation for the DS. Rage. Not the DS version, obviously. Yeah. Might and Magic Hero 6. Okay, you ready for when it gets good, though? Forza Motorsport 4, Dark Souls, Batman Arkham City, Battlefield 3.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You get potentially one of the best racers of that gen, Dark Souls, which might be one of the best games of that gen, a great multiplayer game, Battlefield 3, and Arkham City is pretty badass.
I dig it. Yeah, I guess it's just the lack of
very next year.
We have Forza 6 coming.
We have what?
Forza 6 is coming.
Forza 6 is out.
Yeah.
So that's just like September.
Yeah.
In September. This year.
Okay, but then October 2012, Dishonored, XCOM Enemy Unknown, Forza Horizon, Virtua's Last Reward, Mark of the Ninja, Hotline Miami, Chivalry Medieval Warfare. Whereas, again, look at this October lineup and tell me with a straight face you're excited for anything. Other than Chris being excited for Rock Band 4.
Rock Band 4.
Like, I'm not even thinking that far ahead. I don't know.
I know, I'm just asking.
Not that far ahead.
Yeah, that far ahead.
It's just like, I'm thinking, like, when am I going to be able to buy Mario Maker so I can play it?
Exactly. I'm just saying, though. I want you to think even just... I just want you to look at that thing and tell me one thing in that group that at least, you know what? That gets me excited. I don't think you could answer that, Ben. And I don't think if Chris's friends didn't want to play Rock Band, he could answer that. Maybe Chris would.
I'm actually not looking at a list right now. So
No, other than
Disgaea 5, Rock Band 4, the Platinum Transformer game, Yoshi's Woolly World, Fatal Frame 5. Yeah, I'll copy and paste it again.
Fatal Frame 5, Halo 5, and Assassin's Creed 7.
Dragon Quest Hero.
Oh, here. All right.
Yeah, can't wait.
Triforce Heroes.
Of all those games, I'm probably only buying Rock Band and Halo.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the new Stanley Parable game.
Also, Uncharted. I want Uncharted.
Oh, the Nathan Drake collection.
Yeah, I didn't count it because port.
I haven't played them, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be sweet.
No, yeah, Uncharted 2 is a badass game. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I'm with Jeff Gerstmann on this. I want video games to just come out in bunches.
I think we had a really, really good September.
We had a good September. It was September, and it was like 2 games.
As Ben pointed out,
It's not just 2 games.
As fun as it is for them all to flood at once, I definitely prefer them spread out. Because then
Tales of Hysteria is also October.
I
I
can
want that
afford
game
them,
too.
I can play them, and then move on to the next one, and not buy like 5 games at once.
You people say that like we don't go through that process anyway. Like we still get random busy months here and there.
Besides, we had like Metal Gear, we had Mario Maker, we had Soma.
We did have Soma at the end of September. That's right.
Soma in September.
Forza,
good game.
Yeah, no, September was this year's stacked month. Although November...
There's another one in my head that I just forgot.
November has Battlefront and Fallout.
I'm actually agreeing with you. I feel like we did forget something big this past month.
Undertale is supposed to be really strong.
Oh, yeah. No one's played that, though.
No one here's played that. You know, it's like we're barely keeping up as it is. Destiny of Taken King sounds like it's improved a lot.
Well, hold on. When we're saying improve, I want some qualifiers here.
Until Dawn came out this month.
And Until Dawn was September?
Yeah, that's true. Yes, it's not as boring as I think it is.
So
Mad Max
I think you're just
came
too
out.
focused. You're too focused on this one thing. But if you look at the bigger picture,
The superior open world game came out September 1st. Mad Max.
Mad Max.
The craziness. Even as a joke, it's craziness.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Oh, come on! That's now we're just fishing. We didn't have to fish for 2007.
Just mess with you.
I'm just saying. I look back at that 2007 group, and as not as special as I think that year is, I still went, well, that's a lot of good games. I don't know if we're going to get at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, I had it at 9 games bolded. I guess it's 8 now because you said Beautiful Katamari had this shitty ended thing. But like at least 8 of those games I remember thinking were like really freaking good.
And then it's not like November was a slouch either.
Yeah, and November that year was so good. It was Call of Duty 4, the original Assassin's Creed.
Rock Band.
Rock Band.
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
Holy fuck.
The beginning of Uncharted. Like I don't like those games, but come on.
Honestly, 2007. I like, maybe not the best games, but when you just list off the titles like that.
Because the other issue is, again, like, where's the new exciting thing? Like, what's the next 2 I'm going to be excited for? Because I'm looking at this group and I'm going, Halo 6, Fatal Frame 6, Assassin's Creed 1 billionth the second, Legend
I think
of Zelda
that's
2
kind
billion.
of just the problem with the console space as it is right now. There's just not a lot of risks being taken, especially at like this time of year.
Yeah. Oh well.
But there are risks being taken in other places, so
Yeah.
we're still finding awesome stuff.
Oh yeah.
And some people, this is one of the best times for games ever.
What soundtrack games ever?
It's one of the best times for games ever.
This era, yeah, on some level.
I mean, the fourth best game of all time came out in March, and you're like still
Oh my god.
not happy.
I'm not happy with the 16th and the 4th best game of all time this year.
And Witcher 3 was like 59th or something.
And the 59th greatest game of all time.
Super Mario Maker was 37.
And the 37th greatest game of all time.
It's actually
Splatoon was up there.
Stupid list, man.
Splatoon as one of the 100 greatest games ever made.
It's like 29th, man.
Ben, that is ridiculous, and you know it.
It's a really good time to be playing games.
It's such a good game, but oh my god, no.
16th best game, Metal Gear Solid 5.
I think maybe it's because I haven't played enough games from this year. Is my issue.
Yeah, I have to go shit talk Metal Gear Solid 5's ending with Ben.
Because I'm like looking at, I ended up playing on some level, like at least
Monster Hunter 4 at number 50.
Monster Hunter 4 at number 50. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
This list is just whack.
I played 9 games this year from 2015, without counting what little I played of Witcher.
I think I played like 2, yeah.
And of those 9,
not 2, way more.
Only 5 of them I would call a good game, with her story being on that borderline. I don't know if it's good or not.
Dude, how could you say it's the 94th best game of all time?
That is okay.
All time.
Eat your fucking heart out, Braid.
Damn.
Number 96.
Damn, you can't mess with facts like that, yo. It's right there, numbers.
Oh my god.
Skyrim, 25th.
That is how this list is meant to be used.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Alright, whatever.
I think we're done here.
Yeah, subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. Shoot us some questions at podcasts@endlessbacklog.com.
Or write us in the comments.
Or just in the comment sections. Angels and Demons, keep doing your thing. Tom Towers, please, for the love of all that is holy, play a good platinum game already. I don't want to hear your fucking opinions on bullshit RT Game 2, or bullshit RT Game 3, or fucking Yakuza, or goddamn Killzone for that matter.
What if he plays Transformers and that's his first platinum game?
No, he's already played
Bayonetta.
He's already played Bayonetta. He gave Bayonetta 1 a 9. He gave Bayonetta 2 a 9.5. Would have given it a 10 if it wasn't for, I believe, Chapter 12. His third 10 next to Ico and Metroid Prime.
So if that keeps Bayonetta 3 will be a 10 out of 10.
In theory, if they...
That's how it works.
I'm not sure that's how the Tom Towers scales work, but sure. Yeah.
That's how it works.
He is, he's bought into my idea that Pootie Tang is the true Metroid Prime 3 though, so... Who knows? Anyway, thank you for listening. We are out.
Peace.